Hi, I'm Meredith and I'm a programming librarian at the Cedar Rapids Public Library. I'm here today to show you what I've done with a Makey Makey, a little circuit board, and some paper flowers, and a little program by the good people at MIT called Scratch to code my own activity that combines circuitry and paper. Let me show you what I did. Okay, I know this is kind of funny, but I wanted to show you what a Makey Makey is. So here is a Makey Makey. It is comprised of a circuit board, a USB cord, alligator clips in all of their beautiful colors, and some pins. Ta-da! Just to show you up close, you can see that there are commands on both sides. The back is far more extensive. And now that the Makey Makey is ready, let's just make a little something. Now you'll notice I'm going to make a flower, and you can use all paper. The real important part of making sure that your flowers, or whatever you create, you could use cardboard, you could use anything. You just need to make sure that whatever connects to those alligator clips or pins conducts electricity. This is a great time to think about what you could introduce in your own home to experiment with to see what conducts electricity. I had my kids go around the house. I had them take a magnet to see what was metal. There's some really interesting things that conduct electricity that I never would have thought. When I first started using a Makey Makey, one of the things that just tickled me was that people conduct electricity. You can hold hands to conduct electricity through the circuit board to the other end. Plants will conduct electricity. You just have to be careful with your alligator clips and your pins. Aluminum foil, and even graphite from a pencil. So it's a great opportunity to talk about what conducts electricity, what that means, and how you put it together. I'm going to use a pipe cleaner or a chenille stick to hold my flower together, and in theory that has metal in it and it could conduct electricity, but the fuzz on the outside acts as an insulator. So I would say this would be a good time to gather your equipment and take the opportunity to talk about the different properties of things around the house. Okay, now let's hook everything up. Now let's go inside of Scratch for a moment. You can see that when the space key, when the down arrow key is pressed, all those commands control the sprites on the side. The parrot, the dragon. I had a background. I chose the actions for each animal. At the very end, I'll show you how I did it in depth. Two, one. Here we are at the Crawford Industries laboratory, and I just wanted to show you, when I made this program in Scratch, I put 5 different key commands in. So my first assistant will demonstrate what happens when you push the arrows and the space bar. So go ahead, space bar. That's our Snapdragon and arrows. Parrot, flower. Go ahead. Monkey face orchid. Dandelion. And one more. Foxglove. Hey, what's a fox say? Hey. All right, so assistant number 1, step away. Now, what we have done is on the Makey... Step away. See what I have to work with here. So now, on the Makey Makey board, we've connected the alligator clips to the arrows and the space bar. So now, my assistant number 2 will demonstrate. She's holding the ground in one hand, and with her other, she'll reach out and touch a piece of the conductive material attached to the alligator clip. Wow! That's graphite, so you can rub a pencil to conduct electricity, or hit some of that aluminum foil, would you, assistant number 2? What? And that's how our gardens become alive. That's a terrifically quick overview of a Makey Makey and what you can do with it. There's so many conversations that you can have with your kids about how circuits work, how electricity conducts, and what it takes to kind of fuel the world. Something that I always like to tell any person that I work with when we're talking about coding or, these kind of technology things. It's like, you can either wait for somebody else to create your world or you can do it yourself. Kids have a really huge capacity to imagine and create. And I think putting these tools in their hands right now is going to make them more comfortable with technology and able to manipulate their world in a way that works for them. I compare it to writing your own history. You can let somebody else do it. You can write your own future this way too. And I think that this is a really great introduction for any grown-ups that are looking to understand coding more or want to learn. Scratch is a great way to do it. Let me show you just a little bit on how to run Scratch if you're interested. Okay, so what you see here is the scratch.mit.edu website. So here we are, the homepage of Scratch, and it's really easy to use. So this Create tab takes you right to the interface where you can start coding. Explore is explore other people's projects to remix or use, ideas, tutorials to get you started, and then there's the general about page, more the boring stuff. You'll see here, I'm already logged in. This is my profile name here. Drop down menu, but here is my stuff. So the coding projects that I've finished, and then there's also a mail spot for messages. Now, I will say that if you're not familiar with Scratch, Ideas is the best place to start. So here are just numerous tutorials on how to do projects. You can see how to make music, create a story. There are so many more than are just here, but I think it's worth just cruising through very quickly and getting started to try that one to show you grown-ups how easy it can be. So as it loads, it's going to load all the components of the Scratch interface for coding, and it's going to have a short video that's in the pane. Now this view is just what you'll see when you code, but this video at the bottom has a dialogue. You can see there's that kind of turquoise arrow to the side. I'm going to skip the video. The video is just an introduction to the project, and then once I click that arrow on the right there, it starts to really show me what blocks build the commands. And it goes step by step, and I just click through the instructions and then go to the left-hand side and pull those command blocks over. And you'll see it's finished. And then, per the instructions, I click the green flag and it does what it's supposed to do. Now I do think it's worth mentioning, and I'll save it quick, I can come back to it, but I think it's worth mentioning that there is a younger version of Scratch as well. For 5 to 7-year-olds is the recommended age, but you know your kids better than anyone. It's best used as an app for those small fingers to drag and drop coding blocks into place. I'll just go up to the Learn tab quickly here so you can see what the format looks like. There are a lot more things built into it for easy use and for grown-ups to kind of get the lay of the land too. So that's a really brief overview of Makey Makey and Scratch software. Now, even if you don't have a Makey Makey at home, you certainly can play with Scratch. It's pretty easy to use, as I hope you've seen. And I have a kindergartner and a second grader at home, and they've both been doing some programming in the last couple weeks. So I'd encourage you to check it out. Now, there'll be some more virtual programming coming your way that includes some Makey Makeys, but once we can see you in person again, keep your eyes peeled because we have a classroom set of Makey Makeys and we're going to be making some noise. Thanks so much for watching from all of us here at the Cedar Rapids Public Library.
So watch this.
How do I do it?
You want to hear this dandelion?
Is that a monkey-faced orchid?
Yeah. Wait. Hold this.